All set, Guido?
All set.
This
Stay
is
back.
Penn Sunday School, and to our listening ears, all nature sings and round us rings the music of the spheres. This is Penn Sunday School.
Brothers, sisters, siblings, welcome to Penn Sunday School, starring Penn Gillette. My name is Michael Goodell, Mike Donnelly, Reddy Rich, Penn, and I. We're broadcasting from our separate homes in Las Vegas.
This is Penn Sunday School.
This week, we'll talk about a Penn deep fake technology, and Matt will review a new episode of Fool Us for us. Here he is preaching love, Mr. Penn Gillette.
Here I am, Penn Gillette, preaching love crazier than a pet raccoon. I am.
Had a pet squirrel, by the way.
What? Your grandparents had a pet squirrel?
Yes.
Please tell me his name.
I don't know. I'll ask.
Like a tamed squirrel or in a cage?
It had a room in the house dedicated to it.
Well, that seems like a hybrid.
A room in the house. A lot of people build model trains. No, they had woods.
Did you enjoy the company of the squirrel?
They wouldn't let me near it.
Was it because if you were the squirrel you couldn't get near it?
Because I am crazier than a pet squirrel.
Did you also have control of the access door to your room?
I didn't have a room there. They wouldn't let me stay.
Got it.
What was the room like besides full of squirrel shit?
I assume it was a laundry room. Was the intent of the? It was a smaller, like you would have a washer dryer in it, with an open door that they had caged over.
Okay.
And inside they had a tree.
A growing tree?
No, it was like had cut and dried out.
We are speechless by your family's pet squirrel. I mean, that is quite a feature. When you give a tour of the house, come on through. This is where our pet squirrel is. That's a tree.
So troubled by you not knowing the name.
I don't know that it had a name. It might not have. But the message is out to my mother. So we'll see if she responds during the show.
Would they throw nuts to it?
I'm sorry, you cut out.
They throw nuts to the squirrel?
I don't remember them throwing anything. They fed it regularly. It was out of a bowl.
Squirrel chow or something?
I'm sure. I'm too young to answer the tech questions that you're asking here.
Was there a squirrel smell?
Yes. Yes, I do remember the smell. And it was off the kitchen, so I didn't eat there.
Your
The room was
grandparents? Did you enjoy visiting your grandparents?
This is complicated. I got my sense of humor from my grandfather, and my grandmother hated kids. So I wasn't particularly welcome there. He would fish all the time. He was like Denny. He's the Denny of my family. And he would take me fishing.
Well, maybe he was drowning and the squirrel saved his life. That's the story I'm going to believe. And the squirrel was named Peanut. Find out both those things. That took all out of my sales. Everything else I had to talk about this show has gone away.
I'm sorry. I should have saved it for after.
So I was very, I told the story about my dad going to the restaurant and having the lobster roll. I got all teared up. And then you told me that a lot of people wrote in about the Shady Glen, right?
Yes.
And I went online to look at pictures and realized the Shady Glen was in Turner's Falls, which you're thinking of changing the name of the town because Turner, who it's named after, had some racist background. but now, as of now, it's called Turner's Falls. And they played the turkey game against the high school. Turner's Falls High School played against Greenfield High School. And we always had the slogan, this year, Turner's Falls.
Nice. Some good
So
smack
now
talk right there.
Boom, smack talk. Paper mill town that was destined to be a huge city. The streets were numbered and lettered and all laid out in a grid. Then the paper mill closed and it dead factory town. So it was a small town. And they had the Shady Glen. And I went and looked at the Shady Glen. And now you got pictures of everything. There were pictures of the grilled cheese sandwich on like white Wonder Bread that's grilled with butter and thick, drippy cheese inside and French fries. And I went, why am I a vegan again? And then it went away. But that's the Shady Glen. And someone wrote in and said they changed owners or something, which I'm sure it would have. I haven't been there in, 30 years, 25 years. And the other place was in Berniston. And Berniston's place was called the Four-Leaf Clover, right? And the Four-Leaf Clover is where I went with my dad because I looked and they have wood booths. But here's something that filled my heart with joy. I was looking at pictures of the Shady Glen, and the second picture on like the TripAdvisor site of look at pictures was of a good friend of mine from Greenfield there last year with his college buddies.
That's great.
What was it outside the Shady Glen, arms around his friends.
Oh, that's nice.
A guy named MC Caustic, who is the one who gave me all my musical taste. He owned a record store called Sun Records in Amherst, Mass. He went to UMass. And I didn't know him growing up, even though we're the same age in a small town, because his parents were fancy schmancy and sent him as a day student to Deerfield Academy, where he informed me being a day student at Deerfield Academy means all the townies hate you and all the Deerfield Academy guys hate you. And then he went on to run record stores. And I used to just tell him, send me the records I need to hear and I'll send you money. He developed my entire record collection. It was fabulous. He's the one who played me the Sex Pistols over the phone from England.
Oh, wow.
That's great.
And Clash and, all these, the Residents. The reason I'm in the Residents because of MC Caustic. And he was a 911 dispatcher in Jupiter, Florida. And he retired recently and he went up to the Shady Glen to visit.
Nice.
And I would like to go to the Shady Glen, but I'm not in that area. I also found out, just to give you some more local news, Adam's Donuts, which is when I used to skip school, which is often, Adam's Donuts was right near Greenfield High School. So I would walk across the football field, the only time I was ever on the football field. Walk across the football field to get to Adam's Donuts, and they closed. COVID killed them. They went out of business. But now 2 twin women have bought Adam's Donuts and are sure it's coming back and it's coming back strong. So if you're in the New England area, if you want to go eat things that Penn no longer eats, Adam's Donuts in Greenfield, Shady Glen in Turner's Falls, and Four-Leaf Clover in Berniston.
Were the women fraternal or identical twins?
It was not covered in the Greenfield Recorder, which incidentally I read every day. I have a subscription.
Yeah. That's a nice thing.
What other questions do we have? Oh, I want to cover this from our crazy raccoon thing. Amanda Kay says, thought I'd let you know about bear-based education in Alaska. I live on Kodiak Island. Now, is the bear named after the island or the island named after the bear? What are you holding up here?
Joey.
That's the
Squirrel's
squirrel
name is Joey.
Joey was named a squirrel.
Who's Joey? Better than Peanut.
Peanut is dead. Long live Joey.
Thought I'd let you know about bear-based education in Alaska. I live on Kodiak Island where seeing a bear is equal to seeing a rat. Uncommon and slightly concerning, but not terrifying. I teach special education K-1. We do teach kids about bears in kindergarten. Don't run from bears. And if you live on the mainland, run from a moose. So don't run from bears, run from a moose. And there's a mnemonic device for keeping those straight. Picture yourself with a bear and don't run. Picture yourself with a moose and run like that. When you're with a bear, make yourself big and talk to the bear. Back away slowly. A common phrase is, hey bear, ho bear, after the children's books. And Amanda's happy to answer any questions about bear education.
Well, also, it turns out the Kodiak bears are a unique subspecies of the brown or grizzly bear that live only on the Kodiak Islands.
But which are they named after?
But they are named after the land, I believe.
Okay, there you go. So, Matt Donnelly, tell us about Patreon and then segue directly into the Fool Us recap.
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys want to help support the show, go to patreon.com/Penn. We try to make it fun and enticing for you. If you want ad-free episodes, you want access to Penn's writings, we can also start putting other exclusive stuff on our RSS feed. Another big thing is access to the entire back catalog. The entire archive is something we're setting up for you guys. If you want a personal thank you postcard from Penn,
And who?
Yes. If you want to hear your name read in the credits at the end of the show, go over to patreon.com/Penn. And if you want to hear your name at the top of the show, come on the show and ask us a question or get a personal celebrity video from Penn, you can go ahead and find the tier for that as well. Patreon.com/Penn. We thank you for your support.
The entry level is $5.
$5
For a year.
Pretty reasonable.
for a month.
For a month. For $5 a year. What are you, crazy? How do you do it? Volume. Go ahead, Matt. Tell us about Fool Us.
All right. So this is episode 10 of this season, which really actually lets you know what kind of pandemic we're experiencing, as we've never gone this deep into a season doing reviews. It's also funny to have the other one already happening as we still haven't finished up the last season. But this is episode 10. French magician Boris Wilds came on and brought you guys to the table.
I don't have the name Boris. I suggest Andre. But I was wrong. Being the Squirrel, Joey's a better choice. So,
Boris brought you guys to the table for a card trick. And while that card trick happened, you heard your voice supposedly speak your inner thoughts as you watched him go through all of the procedures of this card.
saying things
cleanly.
I'd never said.
Right.
And what they had done was they put together a deep fake, and they had put in all my vocals
Yeah.
and would say anything you wanted it to say. They could just type it in, and Penn would say anything.
So it turns out behind the scenes, people might remember Adam Shire, who invented Siri, competing on one of the previous seasons of Fool Us. Adam was the person behind the voice simulator for you that can make basically your voice say anything you wanted to do.
And Adam is a wicked smart guy, crazy smart.
Yes.
Let me give you a counterexample of that. Adam said to me backstage, this software will have you say anything at all. And I said, wow, that's great. And he said, we're going to destroy it, but if you want a copy, you can have it. I can already say whatever I want.
Yeah. The one person on earth who doesn't need it.
I'll also point out the one person who needs it the most has not been given this offer.
Reddy Rich would very much like to make the exception to the destruction of the app.
And by the way, if you want me to say something that you haven't said anywhere, go to cameo.com, search for me, and for $1, I'll tell you. And the trick did fool us. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. Because he had Teller shuffle the cards. You can name any card you want. Name a number where it was, and he counted down and found Teller selected card. in the deck.
That fooled us so deep, and that
Yeah.
fooled Handsome Jack, and that fooled everybody.
Yeah.
Card at any location is a common trick, hard to do well. Boris did it the best anyone has ever done it. I'm dying to tell you part of his method, and I will not. Biggest trick I've ever seen.
Would you have been thrown by the trick completely without the voice thing in the
Yes.
factoring? Okay.
Yes. He could have just said, shuffle these cards, name a number, here's the card, and he would have won.
Yeah. It was definitely a neat effect to have your voice say whatever you wanted, though. And Boris is a very accomplished magician from France. And in fact, he said one of the things that helped him write for that trick was that he had to play your role in the magic competition in France. And so he felt like he had a really good bead on what you'd think while you're watching it because of having to play your role in France, which I thought helped make that trick extra sharp.
That's funny. That's good.
Nice.
Who else was on?
Ramo and Alegria. Ramo and Alegria from Spain.
Oh, dear.
They did a fake sub-trunk routine. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah, that fell apart?
Yes, that fell apart.
That was a great trick.
It's a really
This
great
was a
trick.
good show. This show was a good show.
Yes, yeah. I was like, I want to pay for the American rights to do this with my wife, like as fast as possible. They come out and do like a regular sub-trunk routine. What's that?
Did you talk to him about that?
Not yet, since there was no live entertainment. But if I had to do a big show, this would be the one to do it. But actually, I did stay in touch with them just in case. But it's a really funny routine. So they, play like they don't like each other, and they're just getting through the routine. And they do what is a substitution trunk. So a guy is throwing a guy into the box. She stands above him with a curtain, but there's supposed to be a key for the lock, and he locked himself in the box with the key. So in order to get out of the key, they had to destroy the sub trunk. They had to destroy the trunk that they were in. But then after it was destroyed, they'd still, while one of them was on all fours, put a piece of wood on their back and actually held the curtain down and did the exact same substitution, switching places with no trunk, just standing on each other's backs.
So good.
Which was really, really clever.
You sure?
What's that?
You're sure they're pretending to dislike each other?
I'm not actually. They were former performance partners that reunited to do this trick, so I don't know what happens in between that deal. So
it was really funny. But Johnny Thompson, the great Johnny Thompson, who did his act with Pam, his wife, when they were on stage, they were she hated him on stage. Her character hated him.
Yeah,
and it's really funny. If you were backstage with them, a half hour before they started going on, they started fighting. They'd argue about every little thing, and you'd go, "What are they doing?" They always get along. They would start fighting backstage a half hour before they went on.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing! Actually, that's a good detail. Yes, it was very Pam Thompson. Alegria was definitely doing her best Pam Thompson routine.
Who else we have?
Jonio from Japan. Jonio, whose beard was weird. Jonio.
That was a good act.
Just produced a bunch of things from his beard, including a cell phone and a cell phone charger, a glass of orange juice, a giant coin. It was a really. What was great about this act is that normally, if you are a deadpan magician from another country, it doesn't always play in the United States. But I felt Jonio had a really funny routine that played with American audiences as he deadpanned, being struck by and removing all kinds of crazy things from his actual beard.
You're making me very excited about doing another season to Fool Us. I'm glad in 4 days I'm going in.
Yeah, oh, good. This was a very strong season. I even said that to the guys because everybody was exhausted at the end. I remember we were rapping, and plus we were all like, "Can we touch each other? It's COVID now." So that was also a weird part about the end of last season. I said, "I think you're gonna be really happy with this season," and they were like, "Really?" Just they weren't sure if it was any it was more special or not as special as any other season. And I said, "I think we've all been really distracted by this increasing coronavirus thing, and I think when you get in the editing room, you're gonna be really happy with the season." And it's been a really strong season.
Who else was on?
Dr. Ricardo Rosenkrantz.
Yes, who, speaking of COVID, he's an expert. He's helping us with this.
Yes, yeah. He is going to be on your help. He's helping with a lot of the safety precautions for the upcoming season. He teaches at medical.
Go ahead.
Teaches at a medical school. One of the things he does at his medical program is for a final, they can either write a really long paper or they can perform a magic trick for one of his classes. And he says he's had no one write a paper. They all perform a magic trick for their final. He did I don't know if to call it a bizarre tribute, a loving take on it was a bullet catch, very influenced by you in a variety of ways. From your lines to your safety precautions.
Got him some slack.
I know he loves you guys and he knows you guys. I don't think any of it was meant to be like any kind of whatever. If anything, I believe he was just playing loving tribute to you guys.
He's very sweet.
He is. And he had a talking skeleton, where he did a bullet catch with Allison.
If I lose more weight, I will be a talking skeleton.
Were you inspired by this trick? Like I can do that, guy. But Allison signed a bullet and sure enough fired it at a talking skeleton in a little bubble. And sure enough, the skeleton had caught Allison's bullet in his teeth.
Rosenkrantz loves contraptions.
It's strange. The skeleton was amazing, and I joked with Reddy Rich that I was reminded of the movie Spider-Man 2, where Dr. Octopus has Doc Ock has a press conference where he talks about discovering some metal, and while he does it, he's using mechanical arms that are attached to his spine to manipulate everything that he's doing on stage at his press conference. And I was like, no one in the press corps is astounded by the arms. We're all going to talk about this medical discovery. It was neat to have a signed bullet travel from Allison's gun into the skeleton's mouth. That part is neat. It was way crazier to have a levitating talking skeleton that can make facial expressions and do all kinds of crazy shit.
Sometimes when Teller wants to make me laugh,
yeah,
when we're working on something, Teller will turn to me and say, "This is a contraption." We try to stay away from contraptions because they don't work. They're stupid. And once in a while, we've been forced to do a trick
use a contraption. And the skeleton's name is Balsamo, by the way, which I believe is a reference for Teller to understand.
Yeah, they have a relationship, not me.
And then you guys performed Cowboy for everybody.
Yeah. Did it look good on TV?
It did look good on TV. I think this is the second attempt for this trick to be on Fool Us.
What is
the
it?
first time, I thought it was on your short list, and then it got crossed off in a past season. Yeah,
I never worked on it. It just got caught. I crossed it off because I believe that Cowboy, of every trick we've done in our 45-year career, is the most original and best thing we've ever done.
Mm.
It is the only trick we've ever done where Johnny did not have an antecedent.
Oh, wow.
You know, in 1923.
Didn't matter what you told him. He always had that.
Brother team out of Cuba that did a thing like this.
Yeah.
He went, oh, that's, I've never seen, no, that's. Yeah.
On Matt's private podcast, I begged anybody who hadn't seen the trick live to not watch it on television.
Live, it is something. There was a night when we were playing the Hammersmith Apollo in London, and my friend Stephen Fry was in the audience, and it was hot. It was like 85 degrees, 90 degrees in the theater, and it was packed. The English will pack a theater in the summer and be hot. No air
Yeah.
conditioning. It was really hot. And the audience was hot in both senses. It did not slow them down. And we did Cowboy. And I believe we always do that trick well. I believe it's always good. I believe it's a good trick. I'll do no false modesty on Cowboy. I'm very proud of it. But that night, we were hitting every single beat, every single nuance. I mean, everything. If that trick is on its own 80%, we were at 100 that night. And the reveal came at the end. And there was the only time I have heard 3,000 people sincerely gasp simultaneously. It was,
Oh, wow.
and it was dead silence. And then it was an explosion. And of all the times I've been on stage, I have never been part of orchestrating a reaction like that. It was the biggest reaction we've ever gotten, and it was enormous. And I believe, forgive me, but it was deserved.
Nice.
You had to pick 10 minutes of Penn and Teller to say, this is them at their best. I would have you time travel and be there at the Hammersmith Apollo.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't think you're bragging if you're going to point out when you peaked.
Well put.
I still love it's just
It's
a
a
real
good time
cow.
since you may not ever perform again. It seems like a good time to do that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to talk about something. When's the last time you got rewarded for brushing your teeth? With Quip's new smart electric toothbrush, good habits can earn you great perquisites like free products, gift cards, and more. It's fabulous. What do you want to do? You get rewards from brushing your teeth. You probably heard us talk about Quip a million times, but this is something brand new that rewards you and your mouth. The Quip Smart Brush for adults and children connects to the Quip app with Bluetooth. Track when and how well you brush, get tips and coaching to improve your habits, earn points for daily brushing, and bonus points for competing challenges like streaks. Redeem for rewards like free products, gift cards, and discounts from Quip and partners. If you already have a Quip, you can upgrade it with a smart motor and keep the features you know and love. Sensitive sonic vibrations, 2-minute timer with 30-second pulses for guided clean, slim, lightweight, and sleek, no wires or bulky charger to weigh you down, multi-use travel cover. How much do you love that, Godot?
Love that so much.
Beer amount for less clutter. Beyond the brush, Quip has everything you need to build a complete routine. Mint or watermelon toothpaste. I love the watermelon with anti-cavity ingredients for strong, healthy teeth. Eco-friendly solar battery charger to power your Quip with sunshine. Plus, you get a brush head, toothpaste, and floss refills delivered from $5 and shipping is free. How smart is that? Join over 5 million mouths who use Quip and save hundreds compared to other Bluetooth brushes when you get Quip Smart Brush for just $45. Start getting rewards for brushing your teeth today and go to getquip.com/Penn
Penn.
right now to get your first refill free. That's first refill free at getquip.com/Penn.
And
Penn.
Spelled GETQUIP.com/Penn.
Penn.
Quip, better oral health made simple and rewarding. Now, I went to the dentist because my friend David Greenberger said whenever he's close to doing an appearance, his wife tells him, go get your teeth whitened. When I'm close to doing Fool Us, my wife says, get your hair cut, your beard dyed, and get your teeth whitened. So I went to my dentist, who was just responsible for this. See how white my teeth are?
So, oh, Oh, I
Pretty
got
good,
put on
pretty good.
shades.
I'm so close to Donny Osmond. And he said that my oral hygiene was tremendous, thanks to Quip, and that everything that was bad was just staining because I drink coffee. But now I'm not drinking coffee or tea. I'm drinking hot water with lemon.
Oh, that should help the teeth.
Did a full cleaning, and then I put in these trays every night with stuff I have to keep in the refrigerator that bleaches them. Then I go in Tuesday for another hardcore, more whitening. So I may cross Donny Osmond. Speaking of England, our good friend Jane from Liverpool,
Yep.
she's a Liverpudlian. She asked this question, which is really good. For people who attend magic shows but don't like to go on stage because of anxiety, stage fright, or shyness, etc., what's the easiest, quickest, and politest way of telling a magician they are not able to do this right after being picked to go up? I think you just tell them, I can't go on stage.
I think that's pretty. Yeah.
A good performer will tell you, will respect that. A bad performer might push. So that's why you want to use the words, I cannot go on stage. Not, I don't want to, not, I'm shy, not giggling and burying your head, but just, I cannot go on stage.
Don't even say can't. Cannot is striking because no one says cannot. They say can't. Yeah. So you say I cannot. You're like, oh, that means they mean business.
And the good news here is that Amazing Jonathan is not doing shows anymore. So
I know definitely as a kid performing a ton of improv shows, it was always, oh, come on, everybody, give them a round, like really pressuring people to get up on stage, thinking that they'll love it after they've experienced it. And I don't know what age that I actually decided to not be an asshole.
I think when you ask someone to come up and they don't have legs, that's the day you go, I should probably quit pushing on this.
Yeah.
Because that happens to all of us. You know what I mean? I want you to raise your right hand. I don't have a right hand. Oh, boy, I should have just shut up.
Shut up. Yeah, exactly.
And I've had people who should not have come on stage who did. We've all had that experience.
Yeah. That's the opposite thing you have to figure out how to coach from. Turns out the people who really want to help rarely help well.
Yeah. You want just the right amount of don't want to come.
Exactly. You're definitely looking for like a Goldilocks zone of hesitancy, but still giving you positive eye contact.
I used to brag on myself that after 40 years, I could pick an audience member perfectly. I could avoid drunks. I could get people who are pleasant. And I had all these rules. Make eye contact, but not too eager. Don't look away. Friendly. Someone I think that I like naturally. I can pick them. Boy, can I pick them. And I did interviews where I talked about this. And then Keller and I wrote a trick. And the trick involved people handing a book around at random. And I said, whoever has the book right now, come up on stage. You know what happened? People were just as good. Turns out everybody in our audience who will come up is good. They're friendly. I like them. They're well-spoken. I was an idiot. Confirmation bias. Working it out.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Godot,
Yes, sir.
I thought you had another story for us, didn't you? Oh, you had the thing. Ready, Rich? You said there was technical irony in Hey Jude. I had no idea what you were talking about.
So last week we were talking about Hey Jude, and I have to be very careful about talking about that song in Germany because it sounds different. It's Hey Jude. And what do you mean by that? So a long time ago, your wife asked me to start removing. She asked me to do something about the mouth sounds in the show. So I invested in some high tech.
She's in Utah. Utah, Putty Cat. She's not listening. She has so many other fun things to do in Utah. Fine.
So after spending too much time doing that by hand, I invested in some fancy pants Hollywood technology that fixes all sorts of audio problems. And one of the things that it does is remove mouth sounds. One of the things that it doesn't do well is remove mouth sounds and also leave in terminal plosives, P's, T's, and D's at the ends of words.
Hey, Jude.
Yep. So sometimes I have to put that back in by hand.
Where are you, Adam Shire, when we need you?
Exactly. So while you're joking in the show about not being able to say "Hey Jude" in German, you're also not able to say it in English on this show.
So did that segment stay on air, or did it get taken out?
No, it's in. I just put everything back in by hand.
Okay. Oh man, the
You
work
work
Ready
hard,
Rich does.
Work really hard, really hard.
Oh man.
So I'm going into isolation. Originally, we were told that the two stars of the show, Penn and Teller, and Allison, the three stars of the show, would be able to leave the Rio at night and on our honor, drive directly to a house with no one in it, stay there and drive back to the Rio. And then the big cheese, Petowitz at CW, called Glenn and said no, which made me very, very happy. It thrilled me because I was really upset they were being a little lenient with me because maybe they'd be lenient with other people.
Right.
We're shooting Fool Us and no one goes in or out of the Rio. And we have the 20th floor will be just us. And not only are we quarantined, we'll be tested every single day and we will be masked and social distanced. We will be masked except when we're actually performing. So it'll be very, very intense. And we usually do 13 shows in 2 weeks. This season, we're doing 14 shows in 1 week. And we are starting early in the morning because many of our guests are appearing electronically from Asia.
Yeah.
So we'll have people working late in the evening and we'll be in the morning. And then it's the other way around in Europe. We'll be later in the day. So there'll be a lot of breaks while we do this. Now we're going to have some live contestants who have to quarantine for 4 days and be masked and be distanced. But many of, I think like 20 of the, what do we have on? 90 people a year?
I have 60 people on a year.
Yeah. That's what I said. I just had it upside down. We have 60 people on a year. So about a third will be live with us. And we will not be interacting with them. And we have written all tricks that do not use audience members.
That's hard.
And
That's crazy hard.
Oh, I can't think of her name. She just agreed to come on and she's a superstar. But now, if I say her name, then I'll have to admit that I didn't know and couldn't generate the name. So I don't now, because later I'll just say with pride, wow, can you believe she's coming on? She just said, she's a very, very big star out of my demographic.
Oh, great.
So I have an email relationship with her and it's just friendly, but I have not watched her work because it's outside of my my taste. But I will tell you guaranteed, Matt, you have watched her work. I know that for a fact. And I will tell you guaranteed, Godot, you've watched her work.
Oh, nice.
And I will say you have very strong, positive opinions of her.
Very good. That's exciting.
But I don't. So I don't want to embarrass myself.
But you used the
all
word
right.
Ken, which I really like. Thank you.
What are you watching? I'm watching Watchmen, which I love because I don't understand any of it. Remember Mark Garland, my friend from high school, who said there's a line in the show during Handcuffs where I say, "This is great. This is terrific. What is this?"
Yeah.
You're the only one I know who immediately loves something you don't understand. Boy, Watchmen do I love, and boy, do I have no idea what's going on. And I am in episode 6.
Oh, right. I was going to say, I remember watching the first 2 episodes and feeling exactly like you. I was like, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know what's going
I
on.
knew it was for me. I should know what was going on.
By the end, I thought it was perfect. That I was wrong about it halfway through, and then all of a sudden I found myself really wanting to watch the end, and then the end didn't disappoint. And I was like, this might have been one of the best seasons of television.
Yeah, it won all sorts of fucking awards and shit, right?
Well, yeah, because it finally did the thing that every comic book movie pretends to do. Every comic book movie pretends to be important, and be like, and so everyone could say it's not just a comic book movie; it's about real things, and you can learn from it just as much as a real deal novel or whatever. This one actually does it. It actually does really make you reflect on things, and by the end, it does use its comic bookness to make some amazing points about humanity.
And in it, Don Johnson was hung, which has been the rumor around Hollywood. Oh, no, he's hanged.
hanged. Yeah.
There was the poster of him coming out of the ocean with the pants, but he was hanged.
Does seeing Don Johnson affect the way you watch something?
You know, I now like Don Johnson. I realized that at the time we did Miami Vice, we did not get along. He was going through a tough time, and he's apologized to me. And I was also a different person then. I was more combative. I think I get along great with Don Johnson now.
Okay.
I believe I would.
That's good
I
news.
run into him. He apologized to me, and I was not very genteel. I was not very generous. Now he's done apologizing to me, and I would apologize to him for not being to me. I also bumped into Kevin Costner, who I've never been a big fan of, and we chatted and had a fabulous time. You know, it's what Howard Stern says. You can't meet anybody because then you can't make fun of them.
Oh, right. Yeah.
The vast majority of people are wonderful people. There's one person I make fun of that when I met him personally, it increased that somewhat because he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, Kevin Costner actually does good things with his money and stuff. Like he actually tries to help.
And he's smart and he's great. And I also love him in Jellystone.
Yeah.
Yellowstone. Yeah.
Which has what's her name? Kelly
Riley.
Kelly Riley, who is my favorite person in the world.
Yeah.
Kelly Riley is the greatest. In Yellowstone, it's the greatest performance I've ever seen. And then I found out she was British and not American. That was more impressive. By the way, Piff told a very funny story that I'm going to tell someone else's funny story, and it won't be as funny because Piff is fabulous. Piff is taking American lessons. Have you heard this?
No. That's great.
Piff was sent for a lot of auditions that required an American accent. We wanted to learn an American accent. So he went online and he found 2 vocal coaches in LA who gave lessons in speaking American. And Piff showed up at one of the classes and she told him to read a series of phrases in his best American accent. And he finished reading the phrases and the teacher went, and Piff said, "Are you trying to tell me that my American accent sucks? Because I know my American accent sucks, or you and I would never have met. If I had a good American accent, I don't need you. I don't want to talk to you. I'm only talking to you because I have a bad American accent." And she said, "Well, it's really terrible." And he said, "Yes." I love Piff's American accent. "Hey, buddy, fuck all y'all." It's
I
the
love
only
that.
thing he can say in American, and he's fabulous at it. "Hey, buddy, fuck all y'all."
Hey, buddy, as the key phrase is really great.
Yeah, that sets him off. But he said that person was very stern and unpleasant, and he fired her. And now he has a woman with a better American accent who is teaching him, and she's very good.
That's
Oh,
nice.
good.
Good for him.
So soon we'll be able to have American Piff on.
I can't wait for that. Oh, that's going to be exciting.
And I told him that when I did a movie called Tough Guys Don't Dance.
That's the best line ever, really.
No, that's not Superman, the others.
No, I like If You Could Be.
If you could be whoever you want to be, who would you be?
That's pretty great.
A mailer came to me and said, I got this part in the movie I want you to play. He said, you're from South Carolina? South Carolina, you're a preacher and you have a huge dick. And I said, but, and he said, no one cares you're an atheist. You'll learn the accent. We'll use a wide angle lens. So we got a good laugh out of that. And I said, can't this preacher be from Massachusetts? And Norman Mailer said, no. So they sent me to Meryl Streep's vocal coach, and I learned a South Carolina accent from the exact county. And I know you make fun of me for this. I know everyone does. But people I know from South Carolina say I did a good job.
Oh, there you go.
Fuck you.
I
I'll
will
accept that.
I accept your middle finger.
Yeah.
But
I
if
still
you
laugh at
go
it.
to YouTube and look at Penn Jillette, Tough Guys Don't Dance, you can hear me preaching to Isabella Rossellini, who is most interested in the wide angle lens. Who is, let me tell you, a fabulous person. I love Isabella Rossellini. And I also work with Deborah Sandlin, who did not like me. I found her very attractive. She found me repulsive.
She's on the list.
Born again Christian, and she did not like my atheism or any other part of me.
Personality.
But Rossellini, we get along fabulously, and I loved her and still do.
Yeah.
Good.
I've not run into Deborah Sandlin since.
All right. So we got to update the list. Don Johnson off. Deborah still holding firm.
Still holding firm and hating me. I don't know what I think. Don Johnson's okay in my booklet.
I know. I still like to, when I root for sports, I still like watching LeBron James lose. And there's I'm saying it carefully because I should say I hate LeBron James. And then the truth is he's an outstanding human being outside of the basketball court. And on the basketball court, he's just so good, which is why it's fun to root against him. So I realized it was such like an appreciation thing that happened. But I mean, like he built a school, like an entire school in an inner city, and gave every student bicycles because he said when he was in trouble and he could ride a bike was allowed him a bike was what allowed him to get away from trouble. So he gave every student who went to that school a bicycle to go to that school. He's currently paying all the bail fines and court fines in Florida.
You
to make sure
asshole!
felons can vote.
You asshole! Why do you root against them?
Matt's going to change booklets.
I shouldn't. I mean, at the time of this recording, he's probably about to win his 4th championship at 35. It's a longevity thing. He's so good all the time that you root for some underdog against him all the time. There's always an underdog coming up, and he's been so good for so long that he's always the one waiting there to put people over the top for the championship.
Now, is there any accent you can do, Matt?
Any that I can do?
Yeah.
No. No, I mean, I used to be very fast to buckle into a lot of comedic versions of accents, and then I stopped doing those characters for good reasons on stage, and that really, with it, lost my superpower of doing it. So I can do really vague ones for a brief amount of times, but I lose it very quickly now.
Did you have a Jersey accent that you stifled?
A little bit. I definitely had a voice and speech coach when I went to acting school in college. I didn't think I had one, and she pointed out a few habits I had. But I was from Central Jersey.
Yeah.
I speak too fast. I try to make every word one word,
Yeah.
and I can get into it. But if I do,
that.
there's the two stereotypical Jersey accents I never had. So I was never like, "Hey, how's it going over here?" I never talked like that, and I never went home to go to the ocean. I never did that either.
Yeah.
But those are the two. That's South Jersey and North Jersey right there.
Yeah. How about you, Godot?
Nah, I never had an accent.
You got a little bit of Louisiana, don't you?
I got some Louisiana still, and I like it, and I wish I could do a better job of it. I would like it to be part of my show.
That's it. Paul, my comedy partner, Paul, he's from Kentucky, and he just has to talk about it, and he slides into it.
Right.
As soon as he starts talking about Kentucky, he slides into it.
I like who I know what done got a P-roll.
When I talk to my mom on the phone, my dad on the phone, my New England accent will come back a little bit.
Yeah. My favorite part about the South Jersey one is that you say questions. You say statements that sound like questions. Like that's how you talk. Everything sounds like a question when it's a statement, and it's so distracting if you're not used to it at all.
Nice.
Well, Piff will be doing a pure American accent soon.
We should get a coach and I'll do English the day he's on.
Oh, that's a good idea.
But I think that when this season of Fool Us is over, I'm going to learn a language.
Well, you made it hard on yourself because you guys finally started doubling up, like Dancing with the Stars and The Voice. You guys started doubling up your Fool Us regimen. So you sure you can learn a language now?
I don't know, but I want to learn Arabic, but I think it's too hard. And I want to learn Spanish so I can talk to every magician in the world.
I
just
started on an app called Duolingo, which is really basic, simple stuff.
You're trying to learn.
Just playing with the Spanish, trying to improve my Spanish.
You speak a language, Ready Rich?
Not well. I did 3 years of Spanish in high school. And then I tried Portuguese and Japanese, but dropped out of both of those.
Well, we'll see. Anyway, everybody be safe. I think next week we're doing a bank show, right? Pre-recorded show? Because I'll be deep.
So.
And for right now, that was Penn Sunday School.
That was Penn Sunday School.
Cha-cha-cha.
And to our listening ears,
become
all nature sang and round us rang the music of the spheres. That was Penn Sunday School.
That was Penn Sunday School.
Good day, Governor. Top of the morning. Fine. Good, huh?
That was Penn Sunday School.
You know, we love you. Who else we love that, Donnelly?